Oh, it's a smug feeling, isn't it? This is my best impression of a smug face. I don't know what I'm doing in my mouth, but oh, what a buzz. Monday morning, Celtic are champions. To be honest, it's not a new feeling for any of us. In fact, I've tallied this up. This is the 1,082nd successive day of Celtic being the champions of Scotland. Obviously, ever since we won the league at Tannadice. Not that time though, the time before that, back in 2022. We've been champions ever since then. In fact, of the past, and this is really where I got a bit daft earlier, of the past 4,769 days we've all had on this planet, if you're old enough. So 4,769. Celtic have been champions for 4,338 days of those, with Rangers getting a wee 431 day period in the middle there. Anyway, at least I didn't spend about half an hour working that out earlier. If you're wondering why today's video is a little bit later, that is the reason. Yes, what are we doing today? Well, I've got some quotes, lots of quotes from various players speaking since the game on Sunday, letting their hair down a little bit, given that the league is won. So some genuinely quite interesting stuff today. I know I say that most days, but certainly today. We are pushing for 15,000 subscribers, everyone, so please, would be amazing to get there before the end of the season. I was looking back at the views we've had in 2025 so far, and while they're absolutely amazing, still half of you watching who aren't subscribed to the channel, so go on, I'll give you a wee second to put that right now. It's completely free. We'll take a few seconds of your time. Just quickly come off the video. You don't even need to stop the video. It'll play in the background, or it certainly should. Yeah, there it is. Click the subscribe button. Boom. There we go. On with the video. Thank you, everyone. Also got news of an exciting pre-season match in the offing as well that we'll do at the end of the video. First of all though, we did forget to look at the league table yesterday, which is my fault. I apologise. I was on with Scott yesterday. We had a great chat about a number of things. Rizzo even sent in some stuff from Celtic Park as well, where, as one of you pointed out, it looked like he was being held at gunpoint. We'd have it no other way with Rizzo. He's a hero of a guy. Anyway, here is the league table. And yes, Celtic are champions. That is denoted by the large golden C next to our name. That stands for champions. As for the large brown S next to Rangers' name, well, I'll let you work out what that one means. Right, lots of quotes from players, as I say, today, and plenty of it more interesting than normal. Just going to start with Nicolas Kuhn, who has explained the celebrations after the first goal he scored on Sunday. It was one of those, he gave it that. And I think it was, what would that mean? Just kind of like, oh, keep talking, I don't really care, I hear it, but I don't really care. And what I really like about what Nicolas Kuhn has said after the game, you know how footballers do this kind of thing normally, and then they're asked about it after the game and they go, nah, I wasn't actually having a go back at anyone. You're making that up. You're imagining me going like that or like that after the game. The reality here is Nicolas Kuhn hasn't done that at all. And while the celebration wasn't directed at one person in particular, it was to a lot of people. He says he thinks he hasn't been too bad this season. He doesn't read what people are saying about him, but he gets it from some of his teammates, which does beg the question, what person or what player is going into Lennoxtown on a Monday morning and telling their teammates the bad stuff people are saying about them? It's like that time Stevie sent me screenshots of the wonderful people on Rangers Forum, follow, talking about me, and not in particularly glowing terms. And that's a true story. So thanks for that, Stevie. But yeah, that's where we're at with this. Nicolas Kuhn. And I guess, as is always the case with these things, the way I come at it is I don't necessarily agree that Kuhn should have some sort of chip on his shoulder about people criticise him. I think in the main the criticism has been fair. Nicolas Kuhn hasn't been great in recent times. Having said that, I think he's had a good season overall, and obviously if he finishes the season really strongly, I think people will view it as a much more positive season as well. So I don't necessarily agree with him doing all this. It's the last time I'm doing that. And I didn't necessarily agree with some of Brendan Rodgers' stuff last season when he was saying, the criticism we're getting is terrible. The criticism was merited, but the point I'm making is I don't really care, to be honest. Nicolas Kuhn, if you want to use that as your motivation, people in your mind unfairly criticising you, and you want to use that as motivation to shut them up when you're playing and you're scoring a couple of goals like you did on Sunday and playing really well like you did on Sunday, fabulous. I am more than happy for you to have an axe to grind with certain people. You know what? I'll even join the list here. I'll make you up a compilation of people on this channel slagging you off and send it to you before kick-off on Sunday. Because you've been terrible in the last couple of derby games, you terrible footballer, you. Reverse psychology, everyone. See what I'm doing there? Genius. Yeah, I really like Nicolas Kuhn. That last bit was just a wee joke there. But yeah, hopefully he can play really well on Sunday. You notice I've lowered my voice slightly. That's because we're preparing to have your heartstrings tugged upon. Weird. Callum McGregor has been speaking to the media and has delivered some extremely wholesome quotes on enjoying things while they're good because nothing lasts forever. Now this is I'm being genuine here, this is a pretty lengthy quote, but it's pretty amazing, to be honest. I'm just going to read it all out for you. So this is Callum McGregor. You have to make the most of it. You never know when the last one might be. I guarantee you that in 10 or 15 years, when you don't have it in your life, you'll miss it. So you have to enjoy it as much as you can. You dedicate a huge portion of your life to being a footballer. One day, you won't have it and you'll be searching for it. These are the best days of your life as a player. I know that at some point it's going to come to an end. I'm not daft. That's what life is. From 5 years old, I've wanted to become a footballer and I've lived my dream. It's the best job in the world. One day, someone will tap me on the shoulder and I won't have it in my life. So you have to make the most of it. Because we've been so successful, sometimes it might feel like press and repeat. Maybe players don't enjoy it as much as they should. We're always on at them. Me, James Forrest, Kasper Schmeichel, the older guys. They have to enjoy this because it's the best feeling. I dread not having it in my life. I try not to think about it. Wow. I mean, what a brilliant insight into what motivates Callum McGregor to be this, or become and continue to be this relentless winning machine and someone who just pursues winning season after season, trophy after trophy. He's closing in on his 32nd birthday, McGregor, and he probably realises that he's not got too many more years left in him. I mean, you probably got another 4 or 5 years of McGregor max, and he's kind of at the end of his, what you'd look at being his peak years. I still think he's got so much to offer us, obviously, but yeah, it's something that's probably not spoken about enough with footballers, the end of their career, because I guess it's hard to feel any sort of sympathy really for footballers. They get to play a sport for a job, and they get paid, if they're good enough, they get paid incredibly well. They get paid in a week what a lot of us would get in a year if we're lucky. So it's hard to feel much, as I say, much sympathy towards these people. They get an amazing job, they get really well paid, a pretty good life. But yeah, it's probably something that's not spoken about enough. That you look at Callum McGregor as an example. He's someone, football has been his life, literally from, I don't know when he would have started playing football. Is it like 5 or 6? He's certainly been at Celtic from an incredibly young age. He's been a footballer from that age, virtually at the start of his life, all the way through until now. And when he hangs up his boots in however many years, that's just all going to be over, and he'll still have more than half of his life left to live. So it's a bit of a kind of a tough one, I guess, for him to get his head round when football has been everything to him, that he's kind of approaching the end. And it is a short career when you look at what the rest of us do for a career, and it obviously lasts a lot longer. So yeah, I think they're great quotes from Callum McGregor, and I guess it's a bit of a a bit of a lesson to us all as well. As much as we are not footballers and we all have our own jobs doing different things, it is a lesson I think just to stay in the moment, to enjoy this current title success, because we're always looking forward, and I hold my hand up, I am as bad as anyone at it on the channel, and I guess there's certain reasons for that, because I don't just want to always be focusing right now. It's sometimes good to look back at certain things, interesting for you, certainly very interesting to look forward to stuff like the summer window and next season's Champions League, and we've done lots of videos on that recently and we'll continue to. But in terms of the here and the now, and as a fan and a person, I think it is important just to enjoy where you are in your life at the moment, and also, you know, where Celtic are and the fact we support a winning team and we get those amazing scenes on Saturday again. Because without getting too profound here, I guarantee you that one day you'll look back on where you are at the moment, where Celtic are, these amazing times, and things won't be quite as amazing and you'll wish you were back at this point. You can certainly say, you know, for sure Callum McGregor is going to wish he was back at this point one day. Wow, that's the most heartfelt thing I have ever said on this channel. We definitely need to lighten up. Here's a photo of Barry Ferguson at the end of his tether at the weekend. So, Celtic players have been given a couple of days off. We're talking Monday. It doesn't make sense, because I'm told they've been given a couple of days off, but they're back on Tuesday. Brendan Rodgers definitely said they're back on Tuesday, but today's Monday, and the game was Saturday. I think I'll leave that in just to prove the things that go on in my mind and how daft I can be at times. Right, so the game was Saturday. They had Sunday off. They're getting today off as well. Then they'll be back in tomorrow. And looking ahead to the derby on Sunday at Ibrox. And it's definitely still a big game, despite it not meaning anything at all in terms of who's going to win the league. On the game, Cameron Carter-Vickers says, "Of course we want to win. We want to win every game we play. And that's no different who it is against. We want to win the game." Some people might say, set the record straight. I wouldn't personally use that kind of language, because for me, it's not just 1 or 2 games in the season, but the whole 38. And I think we've shown over the 38 games that we are the best team. We want to win the game next weekend and put in a strong performance, because at the end of the day, it's something that the fans care about and we care about also. Some great quotes as well from CCV on James Forrest. Apparently it's a bit of a running joke in the Celtic changing room that James Forrest should have a statue on the Celtic way. I think Alistair Johnston's the chief pusher of that notion. And James Forrest, I think, just kind of palms it off and says, nah, don't be daft. And CCV also saying, I think he was asked, did James Forrest get a standing ovation or anything when he came back into the dressing room on Sunday as Celtic's most decorated player in our entire history. And CCV said no, because we kind of know what he's like and he wouldn't want us to make a fuss over him. James Forrest, I think, saying he got a bit emotional. I also read about him and Callum McGregor having a private moment together in the dressing room, just chatting about, I guess, what they've achieved and never taking it for granted. So, yeah, truly amazing stuff. I really want James Forrest to get his goal this season, though. I think that's, like, if that happens, and I think we all kind of feel it is going to happen, that, like, ideally he does it in the next couple of games, but if you really get down to the end and he gets probably a start and, like, on trophy day maybe, and we get a penalty or something like that, the club or the team can maybe line it up for him to get it. But I think when he does do it, it's going to be a pretty special moment. Just given what happened, it would have been amazing if he'd done it on Saturday there. But I think he's going to get his goal. Dyson getting to 40 would be a big one as well. He's on 33 now, 5 games in all competitions left. So he's going to need to rattle in a few goals probably in one game. But as we know, he's well capable of that. There's plenty to still be sorted out over the remaining games this season. One other thing I just wanted to mention, and a story that I just came across actually about 20 minutes before recording this, comes from the Eye. newspaper down south, and it says that we're set to face Newcastle United in a friendly in July. Now, this will be at Celtic Park. The Eye's Northern football correspondent, a guy called Mark Douglas, says Newcastle are set to confirm the Celtic Park date imminently. And I googled this just to see if anything else was being said about it. And I believe it was actually mentioned briefly by the Mail around Christmas time, so 4 months or so ago. And at the time they gave the date of Saturday the 19th of July for the match. So it seems like that might be what we look at, which would be a fortnight before the start of our league season. So far, we've already confirmed a away match against Cork City in Ireland on Tuesday the 8th of July. Park y Cív, I believe, is the ground for that. And obviously the big story here with Newcastle United would be Eddie Howe coming to Celtic Park 5 or so years on from turning down the job. In fact, 4 years, isn't it? So close to becoming our manager. He's obviously gone and done pretty well at Newcastle, to the extent that they are set to be in the Champions League next year. So this could actually be a Champions League meeting between Celtic and Newcastle next season as well. Fair chance of it, given the fact you play 8 games now. And also we've done pretty well. So don't think Eddie Howe would massively regret not taking the Celtic job. But equally, I don't think we are that bothered looking back as well. To be honest, had Eddie Howe taken the Celtic job at that point, yes, we'd have missed out on Ange Postecoglou. But I kind of feel like Eddie Howe would have probably taken us on back and won the league as well, because he's a pretty good manager. We're just kind of surrounded by good managers, Celtic, even if we don't necessarily appoint all of them. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of reaction he gets. A few chants potentially. I've worked one out here. It took me a few seconds earlier. It goes, Eddie Howe, you're a bottler, you're a bottler. We'll see if that takes off. I'm sure you'll have some other suggestions. But yeah, generally should be a good match. Newcastle will bring a pretty big support. We should have a good crowd in as well. Newcastle are quite an attractive team these days. Got some big names as well. And yeah, it beats playing Norwich City and Blackburn Rovers like we did a couple of years ago. I would have loved for it to be down at St James's Park, but Celtic Park will have to do. So an exciting pre-season ahead. Very much looking forward to that. As we say, I think either Newcastle or Celtic, probably both at the same time, are going to announce it imminently, I suggest. So sometime this week, perhaps. And yeah, that's pretty much your chat for Monday the 28th of April, everyone. Appreciate you sticking with me, and I'll chat to you this time tomorrow.